Hello everyone, my name is Troy and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be going over some more KotLC unpopular opinions, especially about the recent content, the news surrounding KotLC Book 9 as well as KotLC Unlocked. Hopefully these opinions are actually unpopular this time. Every time I do these videos, everyone's like, oh my gosh, I agree with everything you said. That's not the point of these videos. But without further ado, make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe, and let's get into it. Before we do get into this video, I wanted to take a quick moment to talk about LUSHBERRY Slimes. LUSHBERRY Slimes is a small business. You can check out their Etsy page, which is linked in the description, and their TikTok, which is at LUSHBERRY Slimes Co. Currently on their shop, they have the Custard Burst Slimes, Slumberberry Tea Slimes, Lunar Cloud Slimes, Pink Lemonade Sherbet Slimes, customizable slimes, and slime mystery boxes, which include 3 to 5 slimes. You can get yourself one of these amazing slimes in an 8-ounce container for just $9.99. Here is the LUSHBERRY slime, and it has so many charms, and I think you will love this one. Here is the Slumberry Tea Slime, which I'm absolutely adored with. This one has the greatest texture in my opinion. And my favorite, the Custard Burst Slimes. This one has to be my favorite because you cannot stop smelling it. Definitely go make sure to check the links in the description for their Etsy shop and their TikTok. And thank you so much to LUSHBERRY Slimes for sponsoring this part of the video, and let's get back into the video. Alright, now let's get into the actual video. My first unpopular opinion is about Marella. Bracing myself for all the hate comments on this one, but I am not the biggest fan of Marella and her return to the series. I really loved her role in the early books as one of Sophie's early friends who wasn't the most popular, the most pretty out there. She served a great role and helped Sophie learn a lot about the Lost Cities in the early stages. But Shannon wrote this kind of like enemies storyline between Marella and Sophie, where Marella felt left out and she kind of isolated herself from Sophie, and then Marella teamed up with Stina, essentially making the two enemies. I'm not a huge fan of the enemies to lovers trope, so I'm not a huge fan of Marella like coming back and being a part of the team again. I also feel like Shannon is just not giving Marella enough page time. She brings her back, but only for a little bit, and then it's just kind of like intermingled and she's only mentioned briefly. She's not really in the core of the action, so I'm just wondering, for what purpose did Shannon really bring Marella back? Next up, I want to talk about Sophie's new bodyguards. So as we know, after all that happened in flashback, Sophie was assigned, like a goblin, an ogre, a dwarf, and a troll bodyguard, and I, for one, was definitely against this change. I think Sophie's new bodyguards didn't really add too much value, and I feel like Sophie's bodyguards in general just have not had a huge impact on the storyline. As we know, Shannon has tried to kill Sandor every single book, and it's just never happened. There's something about the bodyguards that just feel off, like they're not really doing their job. Shannon is destined to write Sophie running away from her bodyguards every single book, so it's not like the bodyguards are there when the actual bad events happen. This one I really don't think a lot of people will agree with me on, but I do not want any more books past KotLC 10. I know people want spin-off books and, sequel series or prequel books or like little novellas. I'm not interested in that personally. Just reading from KotLC Unlocked told me that Shannon is not really good at making bonus content or short novella type stories because Unlocked really fell flat. If Shannon were to write a separate novella on the Great Gulan incident or something like that, I feel like she wouldn't give it enough justice, or she might try to overdo it, try to, build upon its pages more so than it already is. I also have some issues with Shannon's marketing team making all these different things because Shannon knows her audience is very young, so she can kind of manipulate her fans in a way. She's making all these different pins and these different short stories and the paperback versions and the collector sets, and she knows that her young audience is going to get their parents to buy them. I feel like if she starts to make all these spin-off, it's just going to be for money and not really for her own enjoyment. I would really want Shannon to create a new series with new characters, with a new world. I feel like it'd be great to kind of just move on and see what Shannon can create besides this world. And although I do think a spin-off series will be cool, I just don't think it will be good as the original books, and we will all be left disappointed. Next up, we gotta talk about XxXRoseXx. One of my favorite moments in the series was when Sophie and her team went to XxXRoseXx and Neverseen. That was truly one of the highlight reels. I loved Neverseen so much for that. I loved kind of like the rebellion era where, they left Lost Cities and joined the Black Swan. I really think skills along with XxXRoseXx has been kind of put on the burner ever since then. Skills are just not as celebrated and they weren't as important as for, say, books 4 and 5 when, the skill of like breaking down mountains with your mind. Personally, I want a big part of the series ending to be involved with skills. I feel like there could just be so many opportunities there because there's so many elves that are like talentless. If we start relying more on skills, I feel like those elves that don't have a talent are able to get the recognition that they deserve, and I feel like that'd be super awesome. Next up, I want to talk about something in Unlocked, which was the Keith and Sophie's point of views. Now, Shannon did say that she's going to be returning to solely Sophie's point of views, which is something that I disagree with. I think Keith's point of views have become more valuable than Sophie's point of views. Now, here's my idea with this, and you might agree, you might disagree. The series has shifted a lot towards Keith. A lot of things are happening to Keith. It's about Keith's legacy. It's about Keith's nobility. Keith is on the throne, not Sophie. It feels like Sophie has become more of an observer, and that's why I would have loved to shift towards Keith's point of view. Like, there would be this cool break in Unlocked where, you know, Sophie and Keith are exchanging point of views, and then it shifts into Keith's series. That would be something that would be so insane, but I know it's kind of unrealistic because the past books are Sophie's point of views, and Shannon doesn't want to like break away from that. Another unpopular opinion that I have is that the only ship that I'm really interested in for the whole series is Keith. There are some ships like, you know, Cam or Marella that I'm invested in, but like the main one that I actually am invested in and like have all my hopes put on is Keith. It's also the most realistic one for me, which is why I can follow it so strongly. I feel like Keith has something that the other ships don't. Obviously, Sophie and Keith are the main characters as of late. They're the ones who have the point of views. I think they're just an endgame ship that, you know, I would die for. Not to say that I would really love ships like Dex and Biana or Stina and Lynn, for example. I don't really care. I think the main group is really just a bunch of friends, and so I don't want to see every single person in the Lost Cities paired up with someone else. Okay, this is another controversial one, but it's about Wylie. I'm just like, why is Wylie here? He hasn't really served a huge purpose other than like debilitating Roy. It feels like he's just serving the role as Prentice's son, and this whole Prentice storyline really needs to be wrapped up because Jin has been going on and we still don't know like why Prentice got, you know, his swan song or whatever. We still don't know that, and we're like literally 2 books away from the finale of the series. I feel like Shannon really needs to get her stuff together with Prentice and Wylie because they're just not serving a huge purpose right now, and I understand that they could in the future, and I would love to see that. Last up, I want to talk about the last scene Unlocked when Sophie burns down the Never-Seen storage house. My perspective on this event was that it kind of fell out of character for Sophie, and I didn't really enjoy it because there was so much secrets and information in that house. And Sophie, I understand that Sophie wanted to be like, you know, kick butt and burn it down and become the Moonlark and paint her symbol on the door. I understand, and I was empowered by it, but I am slightly mad at Sophie, just like the adults were. I always thought of Sophie, and Shannon has written this in Legacy, we always thought Sophie as like the peacekeeper. You know, she is the one that is uniting the humans and the elves. She's supposed to be the one that's uniting all the species and, you know, stopping all this war, and that just fell out of character. I feel like it was something that is not really Sophie's purpose to do. She's not really one to set fires. She's the one to like start putting out the fires and building something new. So that about wraps up this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Before I do end off this video, I want to bring attention to my new song called Hide No More. I'm going to put the link in the description to the visualizer. You can listen to the song and see some of the visuals that are going to come through in the music video coming later next week or this week. Make sure to subscribe to my artist channel, Troy Warren, and stream this song on all your favorite streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, etc. So yeah, go check out that song. But if you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe down below, comment your opinions on some of these unpopular opinions. I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for supporting as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!